I've got the actual lash lift kit, which is obviously designed to do a lash lift, but I'm going to be using it to perm my brows into a brow lamination. This is something that I've wanted to do for a little while now, but I thought it was a perfect opportunity since we're going to be potentially locked in the house for the next 4 weeks. So it doesn't really matter how it comes out, but fingers crossed it comes out well. Today I'm going to be doing a brow lamination using the lash lift kit from Diablo. So we've got a lash comb, we've got lift pads, we've got lash adhesive, we've got the perm, we've got the fix, we've got the nourishing oil, and we've got oil-free cleanser. And then I've just got a couple of pairs of scissors, some cotton pads, some cotton buds, and some cling film, because we're going to need all that as well. I've actually been toying with the idea of getting my eyebrows microbladed for about 2 years. Yeah, but literally I've been doing my brows in exactly the same shape forever, and yet I can't take that step towards doing brow microblading. You know, I'm not ready to commit to having somebody tattoo my brows on, and for me to have to walk around with those brows for 18 months. That's going to take a lot of trust. So I'm going to try doing the brow lamination instead, which I think is a bit of like a halfway house, because as you can see, these are my brows. This is Pathetina and this is Pointlessona. Yes, this is my brows grown. So I've been growing them so that I can do this. So hopefully I'll get a really good result. Got this mist, aromatherapy mist that's just like really soothing but a little bit distracting. So you can see like my brows are kind of a little bit kinky. Just a little bit unruly. Yeah, so the brow lamination is to smooth them out, lift them up, and give the brows a thicker and fuller appearance. And before you wonder why I've got this turban on, today is my pamper day. So I'm doing the full top to toe. I've got my hair mask in. I'm going to be dealing with this one gel that's managed to survive to the end of this week, because it has been a crazy week in the beauty world. Okay, so the directions on the kit are for a lash lift. I've got to use my my experience and my knowledge of doing brows and a little bit of common sense and just hope for the best. So I'm going to start off with the lash comb. As you can see, there's really tiny teeth on it, so I think that's going to be just as good for the brows as well. So bearing in mind, guys, the eyebrow growth cycle is about 90 days. So if this doesn't go according to plan, I could look just a little bit angry for the next 90 days. So it says you need to apply the lash lift pad with the adhesive to your lash line, and then you're going to apply more adhesive to get the lashes into place. So obviously I'm not going to use a pad for my brows, so that means that after I've cleansed the area, don't forget I done a patch test yesterday. It's meant to be 24 to 48 hours, but generally I don't have sensitive skin, so I did one yesterday, 24 hours ago. Obviously, if you have sensitive skin, you might want to do a patch test and wait the full 48 hours. So just using that pad to really get any grease. I've got no makeup on, a little bit of mascara, but no makeup around my eyebrows. A couple of brows there, nice, thanks for that. But got those really nice and squeaky clean. And then I'm going to go in with the lash adhesive. Okay, so it says to wait 30 seconds and then you're going to comb the lashes onto the pad. So obviously, because I've got no pad, I'm just going to comb my brows into the shape. The videos that I've seen, oh god, it's taking my brows out. That is quite a stiff adhesive. So that's one of them brushed up. What I would say is, because it does say to wait 30 seconds, I thought that I could just apply the adhesive to both brows and then do one after the other. You can see the difference between the two at the moment. So you can see one's all brushed up and the other one's still au naturel. So what I'm going to do is actually just take that adhesive off and go in again with a fresh set of adhesive. So my tip so far would be to just do one brow at a time, because the product does dry quite quickly. Just seems like lash glue, and it's giving me ideas about how to keep my brows in place going forward. This comb is pretty uncomfortable. It is quite scratchy, but it helps you get right into the roots and just lift it into the shape that you want. Now I've got a slightly unruly brow around here, so I'm just going to apply a little bit more adhesive just to make sure they're slick. And when I'm concentrating, I tend to stick my tongue out, and my mum literally teases me about that all the time. I've done it since I was a little girl, and I can't help myself from doing it. It's so annoying. Right, I think I might have gone a little bit too excited with that first brow, but as you can see, they're starting to take shape. So obviously you can see these ones up here, they just kind of make me look like a bit of an angry old man. But I can always trim those like long ones. The idea is to get the brows brushed up. And for all you fine browed girls out there, you'll know that that's essentially the first step that we do when we're trying to make the brows look thicker and we're applying that brow product. We're brushing their hairs upwards, so it's literally just the same thing. Okay, next, so now the brows are glued up, I'm going to go in with the perm solution, which is the one that everyone says smells like rotten egg, because it does. Is that one there? Perm. So now I'm going to go in with that one. Oh, yeah, that just hit quite differently. Oof. Okay, so with the lash lift, you only apply the perm to the root of the lash. You don't want to go all the way up to the top. I'm hoping that that's not because they don't want to potentially over process the ends of the hairs, but I just don't see any way around it with the brows. So I'm going to go ahead and put the perm all over the brow. Wish me luck. Probably speaking way too soon. But as I'm going through this process, I'm already thinking, why have I not done this before? Because I really think that this is going to be a game changer. It was so worth growing out my brows. So now I'm just going to apply a bit of cling film over these. So I've literally just, oh, I hate clumsy people. I've literally just cut myself a strip of really roughly cut cling film. Just gonna stick that. Okay, now I look crazy. All right, so it says to wait for 12 to 15 minutes, but because that's for lashes, this is for brows. I keep looking down at the instructions. That's why I keep looking down here, guys. But it says 12 to 15 minutes for lashes. So for brows, I'm gonna say 15 minutes, just because I'm renegade like that, you know. So I'm going to wait for the full 15 minutes. I'm going to, in that 15 minutes, I'm going to take care of this one rogue gel. And then, yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. So that has actually now been about 18 minutes, but I did say that I was renegade. So now I'm going to go in and do exactly the same thing. I'm just going to apply the Lash Brow Fix now. They are looking so good already. My brows, they do like to play a bit of a disappearing game when the camera's on. They playful like that. But actually in person, they look so much thicker and fluffier. And I am just really hoping that there isn't some banana skin that's gonna just catch me out right at the last hurdle. But so far, so good. And now I reapply my cling film. I'm going to leave that one for 8 minutes. And then I'm actually going to do the gel this time, because I didn't do the gel when I did the first set. Playing the ass, taking pictures for Instagram. So now I'm actually going to do the gel and I'm going to come back. So that has now been about 6 minutes. So I'm just going to talk you talk you through the final steps before I take it off. So this is staying on for another 2 minutes. We are then going to use the cleanser to take any residue away from the brows, and then we apply the nourishing oil and we are all done. So that is perfect. All in all, without filming, I reckon that I could have done that in 25 minutes with all the processing time. It's a pretty good, pretty quick treatment. I'm not going to tint the lashes today. I'll do a before and after photo and I'll post that on my Instagram once I've done the tint as well. But today, honestly, just because of combing that adhesive through the brows, actually I could even see that the skin around there was starting to get a little bit red. So I'm not going to go in and put any more chemicals on there today. I'm just going to leave them be. You actually get 3 lash combs in the box as well. So that's really nice because, you know, they are see-through. They are pretty small. They could potentially get lost. It's actually really generous to give you 3. There's nothing worse, is there, than when you've got like a kit of something and you lose like the one crucial piece to it and you have to buy like a whole new kit. Or even worse, try and improvise. We'll know how that can go sometimes. Oh, this looks, I'm so happy with this. Okay. I actually look like I have some brows. I'm so proud. Ah, okay. So the oil-free cleanser, that is how much I've got left after a whole application. So potentially, even though you get 3 combs, you don't really get enough cleanser. But from what I can tell, it's just like a micellar water, just an oil-free cleanser. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. We've just been put chemicals on our skin and hair that can potentially change the shape of your hair for the next 12 weeks. So you definitely don't want to leave any of that residue on your skin. So, you know, don't worry about trying to save the cleanser. Just use it all and get that product off. You can see the hairs are much more, you know, uniform. They all sort of flow in one direction. And I think my brows do look thicker and like a good shape. Very, very happy. I was worried that they were going to be so set that I wouldn't, you know, be able to move them if I wanted to. But what I really like is they're actually still pretty soft, you know, they still like move around. They don't sort of just stay in that one position. It's just that once you brush them there, they stay there. Yes, I'm still going to have to wear a product because my hairs are just really fine. They're not as fine as they look on camera, to be fair, but because I've got the light on as well, so it's just going straight through them. I'm just going to shape them. That one's a little bit long, so I'm just going to shape that one there. Okay, my advice, I would actually just not even trim them. I would actually just brush them up and then do this to just give them that nice shape. Just use the length to actually give you the shape on top. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But this is my first time through. The next time I do it, as I said, what I would do differently is do one brow at a time to start with. And potentially, I may even leave it on a little bit longer and just see how my tolerance is for it. And the only reason I say that is because on this brow, there are still some hairs that are a little bit kinky towards the tail. And I think this is going to be a really good step for me before I go for microblading. Because I'd really just prefer to avoid that if I can. I think there's so much that you can do with like makeup and beauty treatments to stop yourself from going for things that are a little bit more invasive. So I'm not against invasive. I'm not against invasive at all, but I always take every step that I can before I go for that. So for me, this is perfect for that. It makes my brows look so much better, a little bit thicker. And yes, I feel like when I go to the gym and when my product starts to inevitably wear off, as it does when I go to the gym, my brows are not going to look like they just like slip down my face, because that's what usually happens. So yeah, overall, really happy, guys. Let me know if there's anything. So over the next few weeks, obviously I've got a lot more time on my hands because my business is one of those ones that is very much affected by the lockdown. So if there's anything else that you really like the sound of, but you're not sure whether you want to venture down that way yet, I'm probably considering it as well, and now is the time to get at me because I've got all the time to have a look around online, pick and choose things that I want to do. It's probably something that you want to do as well. So if there's anything that you've got in mind, drop it in the comments. I'm always open to suggestions, and I just really like it when you engage as well because it lets me know exactly what sort of thing that you want to see. Guys, if you liked it, like it. Even if you didn't, just give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. Drop me a comment. Let me know how you get on. If you've done this treatment yourself, subscribe. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you next time.